Hey guys, you're joining me down here at EA's London Winter Showcase, and we're about to see Shift 2 Unleashed. I'm joined by Nilsson, who is the executive producer for the game. Tell us about how you're improving on Need for Speed Shift, the first one.
Shift 2 Unleashed is a big improvement from Shift 1. Getting a game out there to a lot of people and let them play it. We get so much data and we can incorporate that into the sequel. We're doing great things with Shift 2 Unleashed. We have a focus that which we call the driver's battle, which goes straight through the game from being in there, driving these cars, battling the other people that you're playing multiplayer in, battling the people you play in career in, actually battling your friends through implementation of autolog, which I'm sure people are familiar now with Hot Pursuit. So other great improvements that we made is AI has get an overhaul. We're also making car physics and handling a lot more smooth and more accurate, I would say. Rendering, we have a brand new rendering engine for the game. In all aspects, I would say, we're making big improvements.
One of the things that you said during your presentation was that you're not bothered about 1,000 cars, right? It's all about the actual racing experience. Can you just elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah, coming from Battlefield games, as I do, coming into racing series, as you know, DICE has a legacy with racing games. A lot of people interested in racing games at DICE. I'm one of them. Coming into this franchise, looking at this genre is quite stale, and the innovation seems to be in numbers. 1,000 cars and just driving a Polo 1.4 and 1.6 is not cutting it for me. I want to move the genre forward, and we're doing that by putting the people behind the wheel, controlling that, and the new helmet cam, which you now played, is just moving the genre forward in a big way. How it kind of helps you look into the corner, how you take the corner, the immersive feeling of being there when you brake, when you accelerate. It's just putting you behind the wheel of almost a real feeling of being in a race car.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned autolog. Of course, it's being implemented in Hot Pursuit. How's it going to work in Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed, and is it going to build on that at all?
Absolutely. Autolog for me is almost like a philosophy, and it's almost like the purest form of user-oriented content. You play the game, you render a time, that time goes out to all your friends, and we compete to beat that time. Once someone beats that, everyone goes after that time. Yeah. So it's really a really cunning way of letting people play the game, battling with their friends. As you remember, the driver's battle is the kind of the focus for the game, and it fits perfectly into that. Autolog in Hot Pursuit is an amazing implementation, and most people that will see this interview have played the demo and have experienced that. We're taking that one step further on, making that feeling a little bit more deeper, surfacing the data in a little bit different sense, but in a way that makes perfect sense.
You were pretty ballsy at the beginning of our demo, saying wanting to take on Forza and Gran Turismo. I mean, this marks a new direction for EA, in as much as they're splitting it out into simulation and arcade territory. What do you think you can bring to the sim market?
I think that we already brought a lot to the sim market with Shift 1, to be honest. Some of the feedback was that you're not really purely sim with the game last time, and I can admit that some of that feedback is right. However, though, with this game and with the physics engine that we're now using, you don't get any more sim than this. If you put this game on Elite model, handling model, you get a sim which is just more sim than anything else out there.
Are you in a position to talk about tracks, cars that are going to be in the game at this stage?
Not specifics, but we are doubling up on tracks. We're doubling up on cars. We will feature about 130 cars. The important thing for me is that every car has an identity. Every car makes sense. Every car for you is an aspiration you have to drive that car. Again, Polo, I can drive that on my spare time.
Let's talk about the collaboration, because it sounds almost like Slightly Mad Studios and DICE are collaborating for this. What's the setup for it?
Slightly Mad Studios is a very talented studio, and a lot of, looking at Slightly Mad, there's a lot that reminds me of early days at DICE. The passion, the working around the clock to get the best result out there. These guys are not stopping for anything but the highest quality. That is something that made Battlefield really come to life. So I can see that the DICE involvement in this is basically purely down to me and the senior vice president Patrick Sutherland. Patrick Sutherland being a huge inspiration into how it is actually to be in one of these fast cars, I'm overseeing this from the point of making this really accessible, fun, right way of autolog implementation. It's just a perfect marriage actually between SMS, the technical knowledge, and the more kind of DICE approach to games.
Yeah, we saw Patrick taking Jane around the track last week for Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, so believe he's a good driver.
Oh yeah, he is he's actually, if you think about that, he's senior vice president for EA. He is a very good driver. He is seriously a very good driver, and actually, in the series, the GT3 series, he and his co-driver Edward Sandstrom won the last one GT3 in Europe. So that would vouch for that, I think.
Good person to have on board.
Say again?
A good person to have on board.
Oh, he can just benchmark what we're doing in the game. With the physics system we have, we can set up the cars to feel like it is to drive the cars that he's driving. And again, we can't get any more sim-like than that.
All right, Marcus, tell us when we can expect to see Need for Speed Shift 2 and on what platforms.
You can expect to see Shift 2 Unleashed on PS3, Xbox and PC this coming spring 2011.